So therapeutic verbal simply means that it is a communication by nature where information is being shared, either oral or written. So you either use oral, and when we say oral, that is by word of mouth, to put up your sentences or put up your phrases together to communicate to your patient or your client. Written communication here has to do with you taking a piece of paper and a pen to write the information that you have. Then you serve to your patient or your client. That is what we mean verbal communication or therapeutic verbal communication. So therapeutic verbal communication, there are other levels of communication that are under therapeutic verbal communication. So under the verbal communication, therapeutic verbal communication, we have interpersonal, we have intrapersonal, we have impersonal, and we have transpersonal. So when we take the therapeutic level of communication known as the interpersonal. So the interpersonal communication here has to do with, it is a form of communication that involves two or more people, a patient or your client and the health professional who is having the information, or either your clients having the information to share with you. That is what we term as what interpersonal communication. So it means that the communication involves two or more people who are sharing ideas together. So under the therapeutic verbal, under the therapeutic interpersonal, we have level of communication that also exists under the therapeutic interpersonal. One, under the therapeutic interpersonal, we have what we call monolineal communication. We have bilineal communication, and we have what we call multilineal communication. These levels of communication and the interpersonal communication here has to justify the means by which we say communication is interpersonal. When we take the monolineal, I know it will be mind-boggling. Some of you may be thinking that if we say there's is between two or more people, and monolineal means one, how does that happen? I'm thinking. Some of you are thinking about that, isn't it? But it is too simple to say that it is monolineal because it is interpersonally where the sender gives instructions, gives others authorities for the recipient to follow without any other question. It is just in a form of giving instructions, giving some other authorities or some other instructions or advice for the recipients to follow. That is why we term it as what? Monolinear. It means that the sender here is active and the receiver is what? Passive. So most of the work is being done by the sender because he does most of the information sharing. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
I hope you are getting me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So for instance, if you go to your clinicals, either you are on morning shift or you are in afternoon shift. Once you get into the ward, then your of contact is your patients or your client. So the monolineal happens when you are engaging on when you are engaging with your patient or your client, giving your clients an instruction. Oh, this medication that I'm going to serve you, this drug, you take it in the morning, you take it in the afternoon. When you take this drug, you don't take milk. When you take this drug, you wait for this. So your patient is listening to you and to understand that exactly those advices or instructions that you are giving to him, he follow it exactly the way it is. That is why we term it as what? Monolinear. Are we clear? Are we clear? Hello? I hope we are following.
Yes, please.
Yes,
yes. So that is one example, and I will move away there and give you just some social example. For instance, as we are in the class, who is the next in command if a tutor is not there? Yes, who can answer to me?
The course rep.
Yes, the course rep. Yes, thank
Rep.
you very much for giving me that information. So the course rep. So the course rep, if there's no teacher, the course rep become a monomillion instructor because he gives you the information from the what? The masters. The master said this, the master said this, master said this, we should do this, so you have to follow. The same thing if a master is in class, his authority ceases to what? To exist. It's now becoming the authority of the what? The master. The master now controls everything. So I can just come to the class and say, oh, the whole class, you are making noise, as the way you people are making noise. Then I say the whole class, kneel down. You have to obey me and kneel down without even asking us, why, master, why do you say we should kneel down? I am giving you the instruction that you should kneel down. Won't you kneel down? Hello?
We will do. We'll kneel down.
Yeah, you will do.
We did that, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to kneel down because I'm now controller of the class. So the same way as I said, if I'm also in the class teaching and I can control the class, and by coincidence, principal or any other authority also wants to pass by and see that the class is making noise, and say, the whole class lie down. Am I not in the class? But I'm also in the class.
You're in the class.
Yes.
So what do you expect me to do?
You lie down.
Hey, I have to lie down. I'll even lie before you people.
So you are different from us.
Is it?
Ekoyoo. I tell you are different from us.
Yes. At that time, principal or any other person who is also higher than me has to give me instructions to follow. That is what we term as what? Monolineal communication. Interpersonally. Okay. So when we move to the other level of interpersonal communication, where we say is bilineal. So the bilineal here simply means that it is just a communication between only one person or only two persons. Only two persons, the health professional, the nurse or the doctor, and the client or the patient. Only two, one-on-one. No any other third party is supposed to even contribute, because in the nursing aspect, we say confidential, isn't it? In the nursing aspect, one of our listen is confidential, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So in the world, if you also enter into the world, whether afternoon or morning shift or any other shift that you are there, once you pick up your nursing table or once you pick up your trowel or your listen to go around, are you okay to attend to your patient? You attend to them one after the other. Once you are attending one-on-one, it becomes bilineal. So any other patient that is closer there has nothing to contribute, has nothing to say with regards to you are what? Communicating to the next patient. So that is why we term it as what? Bilineal. Only two people. No any other third person is supposed to what? To be part. That is why we say it's bilineal. Are we clear?
Yes.
Yes. So the other third aspect of it is the multilineal interpersonally. The multilineal interpersonally here simply means that it is a communication between two or more people. So after you have done your rounds, your ward rounds, you have finished. As you go around, you observe some other behaviors between or among your patient, how the environment is and what of you. So if after it you observe something peculiar, then you now have to educate them. You now have to advise them. You now have to talk to them. You now have to share the information that you have gathered going around. Then it becomes what we call multilinear. Are we clear? It means that you are not talking to everybody inside the world, based on personal hygiene, based on health education, and what of you, any other information that you may be having for them. Then you are not talking to all of them. Then it becomes what we call multilinear. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have gone that far to understand that interpersonally we have different levels of communication, which we term as monolineal, bilineal, and multilineal. But the question here that I want to ask all of you is, if we say interpersonally, two or more people coming to share ideas together, the question is, do we really engage ourselves interpersonally, fully interpersonally? Yes?
No, sir.
If you say no, why?
Yes, sir.
If you say yes, why?
Say no because during communication there is
Yes.
a lot of barriers that do not allow our information to get across to the next party.
Yes. Okay. And what are those barriers?
Let's say language barrier is
Mm-hmm.
one of the factors, and also culture.
You are seemingly answering, but you are not answering. Okay. So the question is that, do we really engage ourselves fully interpersonally? The answer is no. The
Why?
answer is no. Are we clear?
Yes, sir. By why, sir?
Yes,
Why?
by what?
Why?
I'm going on.
Yeah.
So I said we do not fully engage ourselves fully interpersonally because the answer is no. And some
Why
of
no?
you also looks at our relationship within or among us, and how do we even foster that relationship in terms of sharing our informations to one another. And you could see that we don't fully engage in each other fully interpersonally because we have what we call I-it communication, I-you communication, and I-ta communication. Are we there? Are we following? Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes, I said, are we following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if we say we fully engage ourselves with I-it communication, the I-it communication here has to do with that, yes, we don't fully engage ourselves fully interpersonally because the I-it communication is saying that we communicate with one another, we share ideas with one another, but at the end we treat each other with our behavior as if we are animals or objects. That is what we mean I-it communication. So I-it communication simply means that treating one another as objects or non-human beings or animals. Are we clear? That is
Yes, sir.
what we mean. We don't fully engage one another. You have gone into your clinicals, or you are in the hospital. You are in the hospital. You are in your clinic. You are in the ward. your patient, you have communicated, you have shared an information to your patient or your client. And eventually your client did not even understand some part of your information. Say, oh, please, what did you say? Say, you too, where were you? So you see that the way you have responded makes the person feel very bad. That is what we mean, it means that you treated the person equally like an object or an animal, which should have not been so. That is why we said communication. We share information, we deal with each other, we everything together, but see each other as object or animals. So the other aspect of it is that we don't fully engage each other fully interpersonally, because we also share ideas to one another, communicate with one another, exchange information with one another, but we don't fully engage ourselves because we treat each other at the end as what? Casual friends. That is what we have as what? IU communication. IU communication is that we interpersonally communicate, share ideas together, and at the end we treat each other as casual friends or mere friends, which is not supposed to be so. So the IU patient, and at the end you see that your client, your this as your what, or as a what, a mere friend, which is not supposed to be so. So we need to take notice on that. For example, you had you have engaged yourself, you have come for the morning shift or afternoon shift, you have attended to your clients, you have gone home, or you are about to close. Then one of your clients meet you or call, they say, oh, please, I wanted you to help me with this. They say, oh, my duty has finished, so let the other next person to come and take over because I have already handed over. So you see that you have treated the person as a mere friend just because you were on duty. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when we also move away from the hospital settings, as I gave you the example, to the same way as we are with each other, even in classes, at homes, or what of you, the IU communication, we treat each other as what? Casual friends. Assuming you are all in the same class, as we are in the same class. So at the end, I said something that some of you understood, others did not understand. Are you okay? So you've closed the class, then you went home, then somebody or any of your friends called you. What will be your response? You just presume that once we have closed the class, this my friend calling me at this particular time, the person need help. So you are not going to render that help. So because of that, you either mute your phone, or you put off your phone, or you put it on flight mode. But the next day, when you come to school and meet the person, you will be the first person to say, oh, sorry, yesterday I saw your call, but I was deeply asleep. Meanwhile, it's a lie. You know your friend needed a help by that time. You see how we said that we treat each other as what? IU communication. So the other aspect of it, or the last aspect of it that answers the question, we don't fully engage each other fully interpersonally here, is the ITA communication. When we say the ITA communication, then we mean that it is a communication where we had to share ideas, information, messages, and see each other as the same person. See each other as brothers and sisters. See each other as the same blood. Do we do that? Hello? Hello,
No,
do we
sir.
do
Yes,
that?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, we do.
you
Yes,
don't
sir.
do that.
Yes, sir. We are
You
there.
don't do that. You
Yes,
don't
sir.
do
It's not
that.
true.
Okay,
It's not true.
it's
Listen.
not true. Okay, if it is
We are
true,
not doing anything. We are not
let me
doing
ask some of you.
It's not. It's not true.
Then your patient comes to you and say, oh, my relatives or my caretakers said they don't have money, and you have your last money that could save the person. Will you give? I know some of you will say yes. Others will say, even some of you who will say yes, it's just theoretical.
It's not practical.
You will tend to tell the patient that I'm not the one who said you should fall sick. Oh. Yeah. I'm not the one who asked you to fall sick. If you know you can't get somebody to take care of you, then let us discharge you and you go. So if you make that statement, the ITAR communication has not dealt it to its succession. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Hello. I hope we are clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are
So,
clear, sir.
understood in that aspect, in the nursing aspect. Then let's come to our class again. As we are all there, we all came from different walks of life, and we are in the same class. So the ITAR communication is saying that we should treat each other as the same blood. Feel the way I feel and feel the way you feel. So some of you come, your last person is 50 CDs or 10 CDs. Then somebody comes to say, oh, my friend, about 2 days ago, I have not even had anything in my medicine, in my pocket. I have not eaten. What is the good thing for you to say if you are part of the ITAR communication, which said that we should treat each other as the same and see each other as brothers and sisters? What would have been the best action for you to do?
To give him part of your money.
To give him part or give her part of your money. But I hope you tend to tell the person that, we all as I'm not the one who brought you here.
So we both buy food and eat.
You are better than me.
Kofi Anna, is that true? So you see that this is why we said that we engage each other interpersonally, but not fully interpersonal. So if we are able to treat each other as ITAR communication, then it will answer the question, yes, we fully engage each other interpersonally. But I hope with all behaviors that we see, the actions that we see with one another based on the sharing of ideas or messages or information, at the end, we don't fully look at each other as the same brothers and sisters. So we move away from the interpersonal communication. Then we'll be looking at the other level of communication. So that is what I have: I-IT communication, IU communication, and the ITAR communication. Then we move to look at the other aspects where we have what we call intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication. All of you, intrapersonal.
Intrapersonal communication.
Yes, that is good.
Intrapersonal
Yes, you cannot listen to me now.
In
So when we say intrapersonal communication, when you even go back to your SS, okay, the literature devices. There's one term in literature devices. They say if a person is talking to himself or herself, what does that mean?
Soliloquy.
Clap hands to be taken. You have 1 mark taken from me, okay? You hear? You have 1 seat or 1 mark to take from me.
Yes,
When
sir.
you come to school, come and take 1 CD.
Send me the soliloquy.
Yes.
So I'll come and look for you.
So come and look for me. So
Say, please, your name,
Yeah, so you listen to me now. So Lulukwa in your literature device is meaning that somebody who talks to himself or herself alone. Are you okay?
Yes.
So when we come to the therapeutic communication, we could also have what we call intrapersonal communication. So the intrapersonal communication simply means that it is a communication within one own self. He is the sender, he is the receiver. So in other words, we term it as think aloud. Think aloud. So it is think aloud because sometimes you could have some other deeper thought in you. And before you realize whether you are in a midst of people, you don't even realize that you are in a midst of people in that same way. Before you realize you have voiced out what you were thinking. And later know that, oh, I was not supposed to even say it, but it has come out. You can't reverse it. That is why we term it as what think aloud. So it is think aloud in that perspective. As the sender does the communication to himself, he is the sender, he is the receiver. So in that same way, when you get into the facilities, you attend to your patients or your clients in that perspective as you are moving rounds round to your patients, attending to them. You could get to one patient or one of your clients. You talk to the person seemingly not to even know that somebody is standing by him or her. But as a good therapeutic communication or good therapeutic communicator or professional nurse, you need to stand by your patient or your client. Don't utter a word. You have time. And if you have time to wait for some minute, you hear what the patient will say. He or she will just heave. Will I get well? So when the person makes that way, it means that the person was in a deeper thought, thinking about how intensity the sickness has gone into him or her. And he's even now bringing it out whether he or she will be well. So as a professional nurse or professional healthcare giver, you need to just come to the aid of the person and tell your patient or your client that, oh, my brother, my father, my sister, don't worry. I know you are in deeper and deeper sorrow of your sickness. But I know with the help of God and with the help of the medications that will be serving to you here, you will soon be discharged from this facility. So you see that you have given that person some kind of what confidence again. So that is what we term as what intrapersonal communication. The person was thinking deeply into him because of the worries, because of the sicknesses that is in him or her. The person is much worried whether he or she will survive again. Are we there? So let's move away from the hospital setting. As we have said, our client, let us come to we. Sometimes in our various way of doing things, we could run into a problem that is too crushing in our lives. Then we think that, this particular problem, it either takes my life away or where will I go with this? So as that particular information comes to you, certainly you have to get what we call, or you run yourself into what we call intra-communication. So the intra-communication, a deeper topic will come to you, and you will now be thinking of how the causes of the problem and how to get the solutions to that particular problem. And you have no any other person than you yourself doing that. For instance, let me put it on a lighter note. So I saw a listen. One of you is called Victoria, right? Or Leila. Alhassan Leila. Let's assume that Leila as having a friend that they are always on together. They have their own time. They have their own time that they serve each other very well. Maybe then Leila knew very well that it's about let's go and take our chibab. If it's 12, let's go and take our supper or our dinner or our lunch. Oh, this is time for chibab. This is time for ice cream. But there would be a day that such call will come and it will be a dangerous moment. If I say dangerous moment to a lighter note, that is where a call will come from Alasan. Then Lila will take the call. They say, oh, Alasan will say, oh, it's time for you to take your kebab. Then Lila will say, no. When Lila just say no, then something will run into the minds of, or the mind of Leila, or the mind of Alhassan. So Alhassan will quickly cut the phone off. Then followed by another call. When Leila calls back, then Alhassan will pick and say, so if you say it is not about the kebab, so what is it? Then Leila will not say, when I went to the urine, my urine. Then Alhassan will say, so what? So Alhassan suspected that something fishy is happening. So he will now go into his room and count all the ceiling rafters. Say, so if Leila want to say that she's pregnant or what is it? So am I the one who? No, I'm not the one who. I'm not the one. No. I won't accept it. So you see that as you are thinking and talking to yourself, getting solution to yourself and talking to yourself is what we term as what intra-communication. Leila too will also run into the room or any other hidden place. He say, hey, so now Alasan want to deny that he is not the one responsible or what? No, I won't agree this. No. So, but if my mother get to know this, then you see that Leila would tend to look at the stomach, whether the stomach is expanding so faster. You say, if my mother get to know this, I'm dead. Oh, so you are dead when you were taking the kebab. Were you inviting your mother?
No, sir.
Were you inviting your mother? And now that you are dead, so don't be dead. So all
No,
these activities that comes to play tell us that is intrapersonal communication. Are we clear?
yes, sir.
So, hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
I hope you are there.
Yes.
Yes. So the whole thing is that we are now moving to what we term as impersonal communication. Impersonal communication. When we say impersonal communication, the impersonal communication here has to do with a form of communication verbally where information is being sent to a large group of people at the same time without direct contact with the source. If I say without direct contact with the source, it means that that particular aspect of communication could also be termed as mass media. And we know what the mass media is. We have the radio stations. Who can mention some? The radio station, I've given you one.
The television,
Newspapers.
Televisions.
Newspapers.
Newspapers.
magazine,
Yes.
Radio.
Magazine.
Radio station.
radio,
Yes.
television.
Mobile phones.
Exactly.
Mobile
Oh,
phones.
okay. We are all good. I will share you people one CD each.
Hey, that means
So
mine is
we
two
can
cities.
we come
So
for it too.
2 cities.
Yes.
Mine is 2 cities.
That's a
So,
sharp, sharp,
So
sharp,
we
sharp.
come for it. So
Hurry up, oh.
we'll
okay.
come for it.
Okay, so when we say it is a mass media, it means information is disseminated to a large group of people, or a diffuse of people at the same time without direct contact with the source. When we say without direct contact with the source, here simply means that, yes, where the information is coming from, you can't get access to raise your hand if you don't even understand anything. You can raise your hand and tell the person that, oh, yes, I didn't understand what you have said on this part. Are you getting me right? That is why we said that you can't have direct contact with the source. So, for instance, if the newscaster is there reading the news at 7 o'clock and you don't understand something, can you ask questions? Can you ask for clarification?
No, sir.
No.
No.
So that
But
is why
sir,
I without direct
No.
contact.
The answer is no.
Yes, the answer is no. Thank you very much.
sir, but
So
why is
you
it that some radio station they can call and ask questions?
So
hello,
that of they give you permission, the
hello,
access to communicate with them.
Okay.
hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hi.
Yes,
Hi.
Hi.
yes. So her information is right. That sometimes you can phone in, ask. That is when they open the lines for you. Are you okay?
Oh yeah.
And even with this kind of
Yes, sir.
communication, they have what we call the comment section. So if you read the news or whatsoever that you don't understand, at the comment section, you only leave your comment there. Oh, I did not understand it, or this one, what is this? But it will take you number of time. Either you get feedback or you don't even get feedback. Are you okay? That is why we said we don't have direct contact with the source. Are we clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
this, as it is when we are in our various facilities, yes, we need, as we communicate with our clients, as we communicate or share ideas with our patients, certainly we need to always at times also support some other information source, like providing TVs into the world, providing radios into the world that could also serve an information to health information or to serve them health informations. Are you okay? So that we'll all be
Yes,
abreast
sir.
with. Are we clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
that is
sir.
them as what impersonal communication. When we move away from the impersonal communication, then we'll be moving to look at what we term as what transpersonal communication. Transpersonal communication. And the transpersonal communication,
Sir,
it is a yes,
what about a rally?
a rally.
Yes, please.
Rally for what? Rally, that is a group communication.
Okay.
You know, if we say rally, yes, the person is there talking to you, and then you hear, and then you can either get contact with the person and ask, oh, when you were saying this, I didn't understand this or whatsoever. But that is based on personal relationship. Are you okay? So that is
Yes,
why
sir.
sometimes when you go to your rallies, when you go to your campaigns, you are already prepared with your manifesto, your ideas of how to communicate. So when you get there, if the group is small or even a rally, as you have said, the person that has the information will come and share with you. Or sometimes they have to provide what we call hazard for you. If you read, if they say whatsoever that is in the hazard you don't understand and they share to you, you can now go and read and understand, and that will serve as an indirect source. Are we clear? Instead of
Yes,
getting
sir.
the person to ask the person question, you may not get the person directly because of the way, the nature of the crowd.
Thank you,
Are we
sir.
clear?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So we also move away from that to transpersonal communication. I won't say anything before anything else, but I will ask you some other few questions or some other activities that we do so that we categorize each other from there. So I believe when you get up in the morning, what are some of the activities that we do? Can we say something? Yes. Can you mention what we do individually early in the morning?
Individually or what, sir?
Yes, individually.
Yes, first one, you paste.
The first one you paste. That is what you say.
The
You
first
pray.
one, the first one you pray.
You
Somebody said the first one you pray. Yes.
The first one, you drink water.
You drink water. Yes. Another one said
You brush.
You do
you
You
cleaning.
brush your teeth.
you pray, you brush, you eat.
You go to the kitchen.
You
go
sweep
to
the yard. You wash balls.
You make plans for your daily activities.
Yeah,
you
funny.
make plans for your daily activities.
Me that
Yes.
would like food, we go to the kitchen.
Please, class, let's speak one after the other.
So you see that all that
Ujen.
is see that all that you have mentioned are only two things that you have just mentioned. You said you brush, you pray. The pray and brush, you bath, you do all other things. There are just two that we can classify things. And if we are going to classify them, prayer, pray to. The
You
prayer that
exercise.
who do we pray? Who do we pray to?
God.
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 Can you see God?
No.
No.
Can you
I will
touch
believe
God?
in him.
Yes, you believe in
We
him.
feel God.
Can you can see
God.
God, you can touch God, but you only have,
We don't see him, but we feel him.
isn't it?
We feel him
You
and
tell him in your
believe him.
Are you all with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
When you pray to God, whether you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a Buddhist, or whatsoever, and you pray. And once you pray to God, you can't see God, you can't touch God, but you can only feel the presence of God in you through the prayer. Is that not true? So the same thing in our society as we also live. There are some other beliefs, there are some other rules and regulations, even in our institutions that we are. There are some other rules and regulations that are governing our conduct of behavior, isn't it? Can we touch the beliefs? Can we touch the rules and regulations? But when we flutter or when we find fault of the rules and regulations, we always punish you. Is that not true?
Yes.
It's true.
So that is the aspect of the transpersonal communication we will term as what? Implicate system. But I will take everything. I just want you to categorize the two before we get in. So you see that some of you also say that when you go to the kitchen, prepare food, you wash your uniform, you brush your teeth. You know you brush your teeth. Can't you touch your brush?
You touch.
Can't
touch.
you feel your brush?
We can.
You
We
can.
can do it.
The water that you fetch, can't you feel the water?
Yes, we
Feel.
can
Feel.
feel.
Can you feel the
Yes,
water,
we can
whether
feel it.
it's warm or cool, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it means that when we talk of transpersonal communication is divided into two, and that two is what makes it's what makes us the way we are. It's what makes us the way we are. Whether you are rich, you are whatsoever, then it is what makes us the way we are. When we say transpersonal communication, the transpersonal communication is a communication where we establish and maintain relationship with the inner core. All of you, the inner core.
The inner
Inner core.
The inner,
Inner core.
the inner
Yes,
core.
inner core. So it means that when we say the inner core, it means the inner core is divided into two. We have implicate system and we have what we call the explicate system. The implicate system are the other aspect where we can feel, we can feel the this, but we can't touch. It is the intangible aspect. That is the implicate system. The implicate system means they are intangible. So as we were saying that we pray to God, we can see God, We can't touch God, but we can feel the presence of God spiritually in us. Is that not true?
Yes, sir.
So that is the implicate system. So to those who were saying that we use our brush, we use our waters to bath, we use to cook. I want to eat food. You can touch your bowl, you can touch the water, you can feel it. So those aspect too is what we term as what explicate system. All of you, explicate system.
Explicate.
Yes. Explicate system simply means that they are tangible. You can touch them, you can feel them, and know how they feel. So that is why we said the inner core is divided into what? Two. The implicate and the what? The explicate system. The tangible and then the intangibles. So it's the tangible and the intangible that makes us the way we are. That is why in exam, some of you will say that, oh, God, you go to your prayers. Oh, God, I want you to help me to get A and B. I want you to help me. I want to get money. I want to do this. But all the same, God will answer your prayers. And but you will see God. So that is what we term as what the implicate system. So in short, transpersonal communication is the communication in the spiritual realm. Are you okay? When you say the spiritual realm, it means that it is spiritually interconnected. That is why we said that you have to establish and maintain relationship with the inner. That is the explicate and the implicate. So when you have your waters that you cook, you have a bowl that you can fill, you can fetch your food and eat inside there. After eating, do you just throw the bowl?
No.
No.
What do you do to the bowl?
You wash it.
You wash it and keep it for another day.
Yes.
So when you wore your uniform today and tomorrow, what are you supposed to do?
Wash it.
You wash it. Wash it and iron it.
That is why we say once you wash it,
we
wash
throw
your
away,
clothes,
we throw away the portable.
you are maintaining relationship with them like that. So when you also go to the mosque or the church or the site to also pray, you are establishing a relationship. And that is the belief that we say. So transpersonal communication simply means establishing and maintaining relationship with God and all other matters that we have around us. Are we clear?
Sir.
Yes. Is there any question with regards to all what we have done so that I can brush you and we go on?
No.
Ekoyoo.
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 Okay.
Ekoyoo. See, we need to pray.
Yeah, so that's good. So if you think around, if there is any other information you can, or any other thing that you are not clear, then you can let me know and brush you up before we move to the other aspect. Can I move?
Ekoyoo.
Yes, sir.
So if we can move, then it means that we have dealt much on the verbal communication aspect. So we are going to the what? The non-verbal aspect of what? Therapeutic communication.
Sir,
Yes.
please explain the explicate and the implicate for me.
What is your name?
Akologo Precious.
Precious.
Yes, please.
I know you are precious, right?
Yes, please.
So the implicates here simply means that something that has some other bearing in your life, but you can't touch it. Don't you have life?
Now.
Who gave you the life?
God.
Can you see God?
No, please.
Can you touch God?
No, please.
So they say in your religion that God said that we shouldn't eat pork, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that, we shouldn't fornicate, we shouldn't cause adultery. So those are rules and regulations that govern us. Do we see those rules and regulations? Can we see them? Can we touch them?
No, sir. But we can
Now,
do.
when we fall short of that, then they will punish you. When they punish you, which part of your body that suffers?
Spiritual.
the whole body will suffer, isn't it?
Yeah.
They
Yes.
are beating you, or they are doing all manner of things to your body. So the implicates here simply means that there are rules and regulations. There are things that we can what we cannot, we can't touch them. Are you okay? But we can only
Yes.
feel them. So that's why I ask you, Precious, can you pray every day?
Yes.
Yes.
Pray to God, but you can't see God. But God is solving your problem every day too.
Okay.
So let's see that that aspect is gone. The explicate system. I believe when you get up in the morning, even the phone that you are holding, I hope you can touch your phone.
Yes, please.
I hope if your phone spoil, you will go and repair it.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
So that is the explicate system. So explicate simply means that things that we use or things that help us in our life, that we can touch them, we can feel them. That is the explicate what system. Are we
Okay.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if we can touch them, or if they spoil them, we can also repair them. Then that is where we say that transpersonal communication simply means establishing and maintaining relationship with the inner core. The inner core is what we term as what the implicate and the explicate. So in short, you can just say that, or in some other explanation, you can just say that it is the what the establishing and maintaining relationship with the things around us and the things that we can what feel around us.
Okay. Thank
Are
you,
you
sir.
clear? Yes, sir. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
too. Who
Ekoyoo.
again? Ekoyoo.
Sir, please can you
So
come
when we
again?
come to the non-verbal aspect,
Ekoyoo.
Ekoyoo, we are moving. When we come to say non-verbal communication, it is too simple.
Ekoyoo.
It is the opposite of the verbal communication. Okay? So non-verbal communication here simply means that you don't use words, you don't use sound, you don't use anything that will send the information, but you rather use signs, you use pictures, you use symbols, you use gestures to send and receive information of such kind. That is what we term as therapeutic what? Verbal and non-verbal. Are we clear? Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. They're
Yes.
following.
If we are following, so that is what we term as what therapeutic verbal, non-verbal. The non-verbal aspect, we use sign, we use gestures, we use symbols and what of you to send and receive informations. So if we say we use signs to what? To send and receive informations. It is true. The plus sign, the minus sign, the equal sign, the CD sign, the love sign, all other things that we use, sometimes it is the way we use them. Are you okay? To either communicate, to give an information, and to take information back. So the arrow that is pointed upward, meaning that increase. The arrow that is pointed sideways, it means forward. Are we following it? Then when
Yes,
we
sir.
have a sign,
Ekoyoo.
meaning addition. When we have the minus sign, it means subtraction. When we have the equal sign, then we have what we call equal. Are you okay? So I can say Isaac Taco equals to V. V means what? Vero. So if that is the equal sign that, or that is the sign non-verbally. It means that Isaac Taco is equal to who? Vero. So Vero means human being, isn't it? Taco means
Yes,
what?
sir.
Human being. It means that the two of them, they are the same. They are not more than each other. Instead of me in the verbal aspect, that I say, oh, Isaac is more than Vero. But here, I would rather say that Isaac is what? The same as Vero. So Isaac is the same as Vero in the verbal aspect. Here, I will just write Isaac Taco is equal and bring the equal sign with Veronica. So it means that That is what science. I can also say that prices of goods and services in the market, then I will use the arrow that shows upwards. It means that increase. It means that instead of me saying increase, then I will say that prices of goods in the market had increased. Are you okay? If the arrow is pointing down, it means what? They what? Reduced. So I can also say the same thing. Are we clear?
Yes.
So the use of or the body language or the gestures to send and receive information. Sometimes we can overuse it or we can what? Underuse it. So if we overuse it or underuse it, it is in that perspective that we term as what? Meta communication. All of you, meta communication.
Meta communication.
When we say meta communication, it's a Greek word to either meaning that you either add or you reduce. Either the words that you are using or the sign that you are using, either you over exaggerate it or you understate it. So that is what they mean as what meta communication. For instance, I hope you can see me. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. So the meta communication. So if I do this way, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Come.
Yes. If I say this way, come. If I do this way, what does that mean?
I think
You tried. You did well.
Your video is breaking. Oh.
If I do this way, if I just say Emmanuel, this, what does that mean?
Well done.
It's an insult.
It means that I'm insulting Emmanuel.
the video.
Is it not that I'm insulting Emmanuel? If I do it this way, is it not that I'm insulting Emmanuel?
No,
Yes,
you did well.
It's an insult. But once we said it's a meta communication, you may either say the meaning or interpret the meaning of the word high or the sound or the sorry, I'm saying sorry because I said sound. The letter or the symbol or some other gesture in a way that is either above or below it. So, for instance, if I say Emmanuel, all of you should look at me. Emmanuel. So what does that mean?
Emmanuel, come.
So you see that you can interpret it, whether I'm calling Emmanuel or I'm insulting Emmanuel.
Yes.
You are calling Emmanuel.
You can say. So you either underestimate it or undersay it or you oversay it. That is or over what? Say it. That is meaning to overinterpret it. So you see that is what we term as what meta communication in the verbal aspect. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes. So if we are following, then in the non-verbal aspect, we have 3 stages of non-verbal clues. We have 3 stages of non-verbal what? Clues. Hello, I'm online. Sorry, I'm online lectures with students. So if I finish, I'm in the school. So sorry for that.
Oh, no problem.
So I said the non-verbal aspect of using sign symbols to communicate. Here simply means that yes, it is having some other levels of what communication where we have what we call haptic. Of you haptic.
Hectic.
Haptic simply means
Hectic.
yes. We have oculistic.
Oculistic.
Oculistic simply means using the eye to send and receive information. That is what we term as what oculistic. The other aspect is kinetic. All of you, kinetic. Kinetic simply means body movement. Kinetic simply means what? Body movement. Moving part of your body in either responding or sending. That is what we term as what? Body language. Verbal aspect of communication is otherwise known as what? Body language. So when we say body language, it means that you can use part of your body or parts of your body to either send and receive information of such same. Are we
You know you are.
others are making noise? Others are making noise.
So they
Please,
are
guys, can
making
you let
noise.
us learn, please?
You people, you are making noise.
Hi.
Sir.
Yes. So that is why we said non-verbal communication is otherwise known as what? Body language. It's a body language because we use parts of our body to send and receive information. So that is why I said in the non-verbal aspect, it is put into 3 stages. We have what we call haptic, we have what we call kinesthetic, and we have what we call oculesic. All are Greek words. So when we say haptic, it means touch. And touch is very important in terms of communication as far as nursing practices.
Can you spell the word for that is into athletic?
When you get into your facility, hello, when you get into the facility, especially in the ward, you attend to your patients, you attend to your clients. Sometimes you need to touch your patient. And when you touch your patient feel very comfortable and feel very cared about what the touch that you have touched him or her. So touch is very important. In some of your practices, as you even do here, sometimes when you hold when you use these 2 fingers with the thumb and place somebody's wrist here, what does that mean? What are you determining? It means that when you use your fingers and touch the patient this way, it means that you are determining what?
The pause.
The
Pause.
when you use your hand and touch a patient's forehead, what does that mean?
Yeah, checking the temperature.
You are determining the temperature. When you open the eyes, what does that mean?
You are checking the
The blood level.
Yes, the blood level that you are trying to determine. So you see that touch in non-verbal aspect, we term it as what? Haptic. So when you touch your patient in that regard, your patient also feel very confident about you and feel very trust about you and can give you any other information that is either worrying him or her. So when we move to the oculesic too is the same thing as non-verbal clue, where we use the eye to send and receive information. And you could see that yes, you can just forwardly look at a person or a patient or any other person asset without blinking your eye, and that means that you are giving a stern warning. Is that not true?
It's true,
You
sir.
can also
Yes,
look
sir.
at somebody and blink your eyes as the way I will blink. Can you see my eyes very well?
No.
See my
No,
eyes?
no, sir.
You can see. Can you see now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah. Then that's too bad.
Yes, we can see,
You
sir.
can see my eyes now.
We can see.
We can see,
Your
sir.
face is dark. We
Please, sir,
cannot
we
see your
can't
face.
see.
Hey. Then
No,
that
sir,
is
we can see.
okay. Let me see. Let me do this way. Whether you can see. Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
okay
Or
now.
you can see.
Yes, sir.
So if you can see my eyes, so we say oculesic. So you can just put your eyes straight onto somebody like this without blinking your eyes, and that means that you are what? You are giving a stern warning to the person. You can also look at somebody very straight and blink 1, 2. What does that mean? It means that
Person
when you
is
look at somebody and blink your eyes this way frequently or very excessive, what does that mean? It means that you are insulting the person, isn't it?
Yes,
If
sir.
I look at you and do this way,
Yes, sir.
means that I'm insulting you, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That means
So
you are eyeing
the same way as it is that if you are in the world and then you observe that one of your patient or your client is doing something that you are far away, you don't want to talk to the person, you can just use your eye to give the person a look, and that look will let the person to stop whatsoever behavior he or she is in, and that is what we term as occultic. So you can also give an example to yourself if you want. So, but if you want to tell somebody that come home, what will you do? What will you use your eyes to say? Can you
that
use your
one we
eyes?
didn't know.
So should I let you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you see my eyes?
Yes, sir.
So, like for instance, if I want to tell Barnabas,
yes.
Barnabas, come home. You just look at me in the middle of the lecture, in the class as we are. I don't want to tell, just mention that Barnabas or Barnabas. So I will only walk and talk a little with Barnabas very straight. When Barnabas look at me in my eyes, then I'll just do this way. Have you seen the eyes? You just
Yes,
blink,
sir.
you just open the eyes and blink. Come home this way.
Sir, please, there is a feedback, so we can't hear you well.
Is it?
There is a feedback, so
There's a feedback.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I hope we are clear with that. I hope we are clear with the occultic.
Yes, sir.
Ekoyoo.
Clear with the occultic.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No.
So yes, who said no?
yeah. Next one again.
I said the occultic is a non-verbal clue where we use the eye to send and receive information. Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Who said no? I'm now explaining to you. Are you now okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are some of the things that we need to observe when we are there. Is in the world. We don't necessarily say that if you are there, you should be looking or you should be talking to your patients. The nonverbal aspect is very important because sometimes your patients or your clients are in serious pains. So they could not even open their mouth to say something. Sometimes you see others, they will use cloth to tie their stomach. It tells you that the person is having stomach pains or some abdominal pains. Are you okay? Sometimes you see others, they will hold their stomach and grimacing. You need as well to also understand that yes, this person is suffering from this based on the nonverbal clues. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when we come to communication, right, as we explained, the verbal and the nonverbal aspect of communication makes communication a total complete, a total what? Communication, or communication is total or is complete when you are able to combine the verbal and the nonverbal aspect very nicely, very even. Then you could see that whatsoever language, whatsoever information that you have to communicate or to share with your client or your patient, the person will understand and understand it so clear. So that is why we have the elements of what? Communication. Accounts differently in meaning. So in that aspect, you could see that in the communication or total communication, we have words. Words account for only 7%. When your pronunciation of words or whatsoever, the words that you can spell or the words that you can see, words in communication only stand for 7%. Then the tone of voice account for 38%. It means if you can see a word, you can spell a word, But if your tone is not also clear as 38%, then it means that anything that you are going to share, you are communicating to your patient or your client may not even understand you well. So, but the other aspect of it is the verbal aspect of communication that accounts for 55%. You could see that the verbal aspect plays a major role in communication. So it accounts for what? 55%. So when you have the 7%, the 38%, and the 55%, then it will give you a total of 100%. And that is what we term as what? Effective communication. Are we clear? Are we
Yes, sir.
I said that effective communication, when we say effective communication can means that effective communication means that if you communicate, share information to your clients, and they're able to understand you perfectly and give you feedback, and you also understand your client very well, you understand each other very well, then we mean that is effective communication. So in order to get an effective communication, then you should, the elements that makes up the communication will sum up to 100%. And I said, if words, the spelling of words or writing of words, and then combination of your what? Your voice. If you don't have a clear voice, at least you should have a voice or the tone of voice raising up to 38%. And then the nonverbal aspect plays a major role in communication. Here simply means that once the nonverbal aspect plays a major role in communication or therapeutic communication, then it means that if I'm calling Kwame, let me go to the video you see me. If I say Kwame, that is verbal, isn't it? Kwame, come. Maybe Kwame might have gotten some hearing problem or may not even understand the word come. Are you okay? But if I say Kwame, come, and support it with the nonverbal aspect, only this way means what? Come. Kwame will understand that once he doesn't understand come in English, then the word I have what? Demonstrated using my hand this way, then it tells Kwame that I'm calling Kwame to come. And that is why we said nonverbal aspect of communication plays major role in what? In communication. And that is why it is having 55%. It means that when you have this, the nonverbal communication gives clearer in understanding of the spoken one. And that is the verbal communication. Or it adds meaning to the what? To the verbal communication. That is why I said that the effectiveness of communication largely depends on the what? The combination of these three elements. And before you have a total communication, then it must sum up to 100%. So when we say communication is 100% here, we simply means that communication is effective. The sender has sent an information, they have received information, they've all understood each other very well in terms of the message sharing, and everybody is good to go. That is what we mean as what? Effective communication. And that is why to some other literature, I will tell you that effective communication is when there is what? Proper feedback. When there is what? Yes, yes. It means that effective communication, when there is proper feedback, then it means that there is an effectiveness in that. But when there is no proper feedback, what does that mean? It becomes what?
Improper communication.
It's not effective. It's not effective.
Ekoyoo.
Effective communication.
Ineffective.
Yes, ineffective. So it means that when they say ineffective communication, the feedback is not what? There is no proper what? Feedback. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is how it is. So we are moving. So This is just an activity. This is just an activity to tell you that yes, we use communication only to solve our what? Our daily problems in schools and societies. Discuss. Can you discuss? Is that it? Communication is only used to what? Only used to solve our daily problems in schools and in societies. So discuss. So this question is just an activity to just let you brainstorm your mind about importance of what? Communication. Are we? Yes.
Okay, sir.
So we are good to go.
Sir.
Yes.
Please, the kinesis, I didn't get that one.
Which one?
The kinesis type of communication.
The non-verbal aspect.
Yes, please.
Is it not the kinetic?
Yes, please.
The kinetic simply means body movement. You use part of your body to give information or receive information. For instance, if we are talking and you are not, is your head not part of your body?
It's part.
So if this part, as you are shaking your head this way, nodding your head this way, it means that you are concentrating or you are following exactly what we are discussing. Sometimes we will also be giving you an information, then you will be shaking your head this way. It means that you are not what? In agreement with what is being said.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, and sometimes too, we'll be talking to you, then you fold your arms in front. Are you okay? By leaning. So once you lean forward and your arms are crossed, it means that you are paying much attention.
Okay.
So the same way as it is non-verbally, as we say that kinetic body movement. Okay, sometimes somebody can also be conversing with you or communicating with you or sharing information with you. Then you cross your hands behind, and then you are leaning backwards or you move your body backwards. So it shows that you are skeptical. Okay, you are in a state of what? Skeptical. You are doubting. You are not in position with what the person is, or you are too surprised with what the person is saying. Are you okay? So all these things are what we term as what? Kinetic, body movement.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you too.
Ekoyoo.
Ekoyoo.
We are moving, we are moving.
So we are moving. And once we are moving, we are moving. So you see that sometimes when we say total communication as it is, I said it is what? Effective communication. Before you communicate to somebody to understand you so perfectly, then there is an acronym as it is. I say it is what? People. All of you, people.
People.
That is
People.
if you communicate to somebody, your patient, if you want to communicate to your patient, the non-verbal aspect of communication as it is that we always portray to our what? Our patients or our clients is what I gave you as an acronym, people. And then when you see the word people, the P stands for what? Posture and gestures. So when you appear to somebody, your client, and you frank your face, your body movement is so stiff, then it is a communication to the person that today this person is not of good mood. Are you okay? So
Yes,
that is
sir.
your posture sometimes gives you some other kind of nonverbal clues about how you feel about that particular day or about that person. So the E stands for what? Eye contact. It means that when you are communicating to somebody, you should always give or serve what we call eye contact. When you maintain eye contact, it will also enable you to understand whether the information as you are giving or you are communicating or you are sharing, your client is understanding you or not understanding you. Definitely, you see that kind of what? Facial expression. Are we there? So most what orientation? Orientation here simply means that to or to be confident with exactly what you are having to what to share. Are we there?
Yes,
So
sir.
the P stands for what? Presentation. How you present your information. Sometimes our body language or verbally, our dressing mode sometimes too will also interact or counteract with our what? Our message. And therefore it could make the communication either effective or not what? Effective. And that is ineffective. Your looks, sometimes the way we also appear in the midst of people. Sometimes we don't prepare ourselves, so our body gesture will just show that, oh, this person looks today is not fine. He is not happy, he is not happy, he is happy or whatsoever. Non-verbally, it also shows up. Sometimes you also present yourself in a manner, either you're dressing shabbily or some other way disoriented. So, and the E stand for what? Expressions of emotions. And you know everybody is with some other emotions. And some of you as it is, we have what we call displacement of hunger. You get up in the morning, you and your boyfriend or your husband or your wife fought. Then you move to your website, and then all that you could do is to what? To put all the anger in yourself and then get to your clients there. Once you get there, it shows in you. And they will really understand any little thing you shout at them. You don't even attend to them. That is what we term as what displacement of hunger. A displacement of hunger could best be described when you are when you appear naturally, non-verbally, it shows out. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
You go to the ward that your wife refused to give you food, or your wife told you that, hey, you are just a useless husband. You don't provide money for housekeeping. Then you become annoyed. You go to the hospital. Then you are attending to your client. Your client is a female. Then you use that hunger that you could have gotten on your wife. Then you are now using on your patient. It's not acceptable. Are you okay? So we should all look at our non-verbal aspect of what behavior in terms of our website. So here comes some other advantages and disadvantages. So when we come to the advantages of what therapeutic non-verbal, there are many of them, but some few are there. So we said one, it clarifies what spoken words. Well, that was what I was demonstrating. That if I say Kwame come, the word come, as I mentioned, and you heard the sound come, is what verbal. But may not understand the word come. But when you use non-verbal clues and use your fingers and then demonstrate the come, then it will clarify the spoken word. And Kwame will know that if Kwame doesn't even understand the word come, he will understand the non-verbal aspect that you have shown. Are we clear? So it also makes understanding so easy. It makes understanding so easy. So it increases one desire when communicating, because as you communicate using the verbal aspect, yes, it motivates you sometimes. So there are a lot and a lot, and it are presentation of information are always done beautifully as it is, using the sign and symbols to send and receive information and the understanding. Sometimes it is what it is very beautifully what done. Are we clear? Yes. So it summarizes longer information to short. If you have a longer information or paragraph, just one demonstration of non-verbal aspect, it could make it become very short. For instance, if you want to say, oh, love, I love you in non-verbal aspect, you just use either figures. And what figures will you use? Hello?
Hi.
I said the non-verbal aspect. We said we use figures, we use symbols to what? To communicate. So we come to the advantage. We said it summarizes longer version to a shorter what? Version. So for instance, if I want to say I love you, and I don't want to say I love you in words or in what? In written or in oral. So what do I have to say? If I just use the figures, what figures will I use to represent?
1, 4, 3.
1, 4, and 3.
4, 3.
Aha. So
1,
what
4,
means
3.
1, 4,
uh,
3.
1, 4, 3? It means that I love you, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we have done very well in that. Okay. So we are on.
Say,
Yes.
I don't understand the 1, 4, 3.
It means
What
I
is
love
your
you.
Hey. Okay.
Yes, I love you.
I love you.
Oh, how is that one done?
You
Hey,
don't have
1, 4,
boyfriend.
3.
You don't have soulmates or what? You
Keep
don't have
quiet.
The
It's
boyfriend
one.
not the
or
right time to
girlfriend.
ask him
Actually,
question
I've
about
never
one.
heard that one.
It's
Okay,
okay. We'll learn it later. Let's concentrate on the class.
take it from here today.
No, I'm still there.
Okay, if you don't know here.
You should have said the time. When it is time, then we'll know. Okay.
Let's continue. We are explaining to her.
Hello. So 1, 4, 3 simply means that I love you, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
1, 4, 3. 1, 4, 3 means I. 1 stand means I. 4 means
Oh.
love. You know, for
Oh.
love is 4 letters.
Yes, sir.
I understand.
And then you is what? 3 letters.
3 letters.
3 letters.
That's 1,
Okay.
3, meaning I love you.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
But
I
say,
hope
I thought
another
1,
time.
4, 3 is I hate you.
Whether it's I hate you is all the same.
That I hate you is not a proper word.
Keep quiet.
Okay. We have done extremely well by discussing. If you have any other question, you can ask. Otherwise, we will put the lesson to a close so that we'll meet another time.
Ekoyoo. I don't understand the disadvantage.
Hello?
I said I don't understand the disadvantages.
Prayer and
yes, sir.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Master,
Thank you, sir.
the disadvantages.
I said
Sir, please, you tell the
Ekoyoo.
course rep that they should normally post the information maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour before the original time.
Oh, worry not.
Bro, you are
Tell
right.
them. Very soon, you people are coming to school. Is it not on the 3rd?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, 3rd is tomorrow.
3rd is tomorrow. So if you still come, we are there together, face to face. We still go on.
We can't wait to see you.
Ekoyoo.
Ekoyoo.
Let us pray. Let us pray.
Pray for who? You are praying for who?